Galatians 3 verse 21 talks about the law as an alternative to the promise made to Abraham as a way unto life. Let us read Galatians chapter 3 from verse 21. It says, "Is the law then against the promises of God? God forbid. For if there had been a law given which could have given life, verily righteousness should have been by the law." I'm reading it again. "Is the law then against the promises of God? God forbid. For if there had been a law given which could have given life, verily righteousness should have been by the law." We see what Paul is having in mind here is life. He says, if the law could give life, and now he talks about the promise of God on the other hand as what brought life. And he says that the fulfillment of that promise was basically the resurrection of Jesus Christ, wherein both Jew and Gentile, or then all nations, can be blessed by relying upon Jesus to bring forth eternal life to them, conquering sin and death. Here we can clearly see that the Jews did think that the law was a way unto life. Paul says that. He says the way that seemed unto life, according to Romans 7, he says, was then not unto life, but unto death. So they thought that the law was a way unto life, but he clearly comes and he says that the law is not a way unto life. But why the talk in the first part of verse 21 where it says, is the law then against the promises of God? This word against should be seen as two people running in the same race, competing against one another. That is the word against there. And what I believe Paul is trying to communicate. If you would find in a 100-meter dash, you will find 8 people running against one another. Now he's saying here basically, is the law competing with the promise of God to provide a way unto life? Now Paul comes and he basically gets so powerful in his argument that has been building from verse 1 there, that he says, listen, the law is not even a competition. The law is not even a way unto life at all. It is no way at all. For if there was a law that could have given life, verily righteousness should have been by the law. Now, like what he says there, verily righteousness should have been, meaning that should there have been a law that could bring forth righteousness, that law would have been given unto Abraham, and that many people by the law would already have obeyed that command and have had eternal life. But there is no law. There is no law given that can give life. So what Paul basically says in Galatians 3 verse 21 is that is the law and grace, the law and the promise of God in competition with one another? Are they competing against one another as a way unto life? He says, God forbid. It is not like that. The purpose of the law is not to give you life. The law is not a way unto life at all. The purpose of the law is basically to bring you unto Christ, or to bring you to that which can give life. And the way wherein that happens is by the law showing you your inability, which we will see Paul is explaining further on in the verses to come. Now, that is Galatians 3 verse 21.